you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ginny, would you please take the roll?
Vessler. Here. Collins. Here. Coyle. Kilburg. Here. Lee.
Here.
Yusuf Abramson.
Here.
Owen.
Here. Okay, I see that we do have one public comment. We limit comments to 3 minutes, so we have a timer will help you with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name's Matthew Stack. I live in Des Plaines. And what brought me here is I wanted to talk about salaries, public sector salaries. I looked and I saw that the average teacher in this district makes just over $120,000 a year. It's harder to find administrative salaries, but I'm sure they're even more generous. And let me give a few reasons why I think this is not a good idea. I was watching a board meeting a few months ago, and there was a teacher who basically had to resign. She was disciplining a kid and took his phone away. I don't know all the details, but it was a little appalling to see that nobody really, none of the teachers, nobody here really swung the bat for her. It's almost like there's too much at risk. You know, you stick your neck out for someone, you become politically incorrect, you upset the wrong person, you know, you lose everything. It used to be if you wanted to make good money, you worked in the private sector. I don't know why that's changed, but it seems to me from what I know, that, you know, the little bit I've looked around, private school teachers in this area at the high school level make a half to 2/3 of what the teachers here make. And they're doing a better job. The test scores are higher. If you look at the math, reading, science. So it's kind of a mystery to me as far as, like, does that stuff matter? Is it like automatic, hey, we're just gonna, you know, do this, taxpayers, you know? It's kind of immoral. I mean, really, if we're lucky, we're paying $5,000 on our property taxes. It goes up to 10 or more, you know, but then the districts that do the right thing and try not to, you know, pay so much, everyone's going to be on the hook when it comes to pensions. You guys know that. I believe the average teacher retires at about 160, maybe 170. They're getting 110 grand for the rest of their lives that the people here have to pay. And this state is not solvent. We're broke. A lot of people, you know, you guys as well, you retire, you go to a solvent state like Florida. I kind of hope, you know, what are we thinking? That who's going to pay for it? You know, we just keep kicking it, you know, down. Is it really fair to our children or grandchildren? That was 3 minutes?
That's your 3 minutes.
Wow, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I don't see any other public comments. So we'll move along to Ken, the report.
Okay, well, my report is going to start with Dr. Pressler. And Dr. Pressler is with us this evening. I think it may be the first time without a tie, actually. So there's a lot of noteworthy things going on here tonight. But I like that. I'm all for that. Without a tie tonight, but more importantly, he's here after 30 years with us here at District 207. So this is his last board meeting, and in commemoration of that, we've got some things here in a minute, but I want to start with a little vignette that some folks in the district put together to commemorate Mike's service in District 207. So we'll start that.
Mike has a lot of loyalty in the district, a lot of history with the district. Mike has been someone that I always implicitly trusted. He's got a lot of integrity.
Mike has done an incredible job in working on image equity for our building, making us a well-known institution that's respected by our community.
Whether I'm a high-flying student or someone who struggles for a variety of different reasons, it deeply cares about the success of every student. Even when, okay, maybe the student is still just learning English and has to, build up their vocabulary. This is a strength of our place, and they need to have students from so many different places, all interacting with each other, learning from each other.
Never stopping and be like, oh my goodness, like how are we gonna do this? Like he was always just very much even keel with it. Always like, okay, what are we gonna do to best provide support for our students and our families and our teachers? Like always coming back to that.
Mike went out of his way to form relationships, to bring people into our building, to show what an incredible community and culture we have here.
As fine arts chair, it means that he had come from mid-range. He was someone who represented the fine arts department better than it had ever been represented before. He was able to, I think, manage it by allowing individuals to do their thing.
He leads by listening. He really took me under his wing and was a mentor to me. So he helped me grow and blossom into the teacher that I am today. So I really thank Mike for taking a risk on such a young teacher.
And it was through his sort of sheer enthusiasm and his sheer sort of force of will, that ability to be in front of a group of people and just to be able to exert a sense of we're all going to do this together, and I can be the one to help make that synergy happen.
He was coming to Maine East at the time that he was an assistant principal as someone that had previously served at Maine South. And what Mike did at East, I think very well, is he grew in the culture and became a part of the culture to the point that he became the culture.
He really came in wanting to learn a lot about the school. Took the time to get to know the teachers and the students and the families.
I think one of the things with Mike is that he holds himself to such a high standard. He doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve, but he does care. He's a people person.
One of his great qualities is his empathy, not just for students, but for adults and staff.
We've been lucky that he's been, driving the boat for us.
Our departments and our buildings have gotten better because of his leadership. Mike came in at a time when we were really beginning to launch and grow our individual coaching plan for our teachers. And Mike was instrumental in really helping grow that, and it's at Maine East actually where our instructional coaching first took root. The other thing that I think is signature to Mike, we've evolved from a response to intervention perspective to a multi-tier system support. And in both of those two really essential student-oriented, student service systems, Mike has helped East be at the forefront of that work. Mike leaves a legacy of everything he's done. He's been really good at. He's been a builder, in my opinion. He's been a craftsman builder he's passionate about the work, and I think he leaves behind a legacy of someone that truly honored his commitment to serve our students and make this district better for the families and the communities that we're privileged to serve.
Thank you, Mike, for all of the support and guidance and encouragement over the past years. Just really appreciate all the things that you have, the legacy that you have left in this building.
Thank you. Enjoy retirement. You deserve it.
Congratulations!
Happy retirement from the math department.
Congratulations and happy retirement.
Cheers! Congrats, Mike, on your retirement.
Thank you, and congratulations.
You're going to be so missed in Maine Township, and just know you're so loved, and you've left such a legacy here.
Just so hugely grateful to have been at Maine South during that time. It was really a magical time in my life.
Remember where you came from, but enjoy where you're going.
Just enjoy your retirement as much as I'm going to enjoy mine.
We'll give you a tour. We'll get you a pass. We'll get you a look around the building. Looking forward to seeing you post-retirement.
commemorate the occasion, we have a nice little memento of our appreciation, and Ginny helped put this together. So it says, Dr. Mike Pressler, thank you for your years of inspiring students and educators to be the best they can be. You made a difference, and you will be missed.
So you want me to talk, or is this now the opportunity?
Yes.
I'll often give you this opportunity to talk. Wow, that was unexpected and very much appreciated. Some folks in that video I haven't seen for a long time that I hold very dear in my heart. So without going on and on, I want to thank each and every one of you. I have certainly enjoyed and am going to miss greatly the people that I work with, work along the side. I think probably for most of my life, or at least since I left the podium, and even as a band director, I think I've always suffered from intense imposter syndrome. I guess I can admit that now that I'm not. But I've always been really fortunate to have, I think, really some great role models and just amazingly capable and talented people to work alongside. I think Ken, because it weren't for him, I would not have gotten the opportunity to be principal. I'm certain of that, and I appreciate that. I think as much as I had sometimes sort of squared off with each other, I think his self-proclaimed role as a skeptic is like I've learned from him. Sometimes in the long run, things I didn't see initially were like, yeah, that's right. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I think for great support from all y'all in district, and I really do. You get a lot of things to weigh, and I appreciate you being willing to listen and advocate for Great Center of Learning in Dexter and Ponder. And I think for two individuals on either side of me, there's no way I would make it through without each one of you, because either by example or leading, reaching back to pull on, and you've supported, and appreciate it. Thank you very much. And the board, known a few of you longer than others, but I think in District 207, we've just been super fortunate to have a Board of Education since I've been attending meetings, which has been 16 or 17 years, because I started going pretty regularly when I was still assistant principal. Again, just people that really care about kids and doing the right thing, and frequently the answer has been yes when we've had a lot of things, and that has a lot to do with the innovation that I think is still at the heart of the district. Talk to a lot of people as they sort of start to work out and around, or they leave Maine. As much as we think, oh God, can we slow down just a little bit? There, you go other places and you think, okay, are you doing anything here? What's happening? So, appreciate it for that. I feel incredibly blessed and fortunate to have ever had the opportunity to come to Maine 30 years ago, and I'm super happy that I landed these last 17 years at Maine. So, thank you all very much. If there ever anything I can do to assist or support, or thing to do for the good of the district and schools, students, I'm more than happy to help. So, thank you.
Careful what you wish for. Last part.
And I just want to say, I think you're wonderful, and I've enjoyed being around you all these years that I've been on the board. I also think you get credit for being the one who tears me up the most while reading your District 207's best. By far, there were times I would have to just, try not to la 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 la. And so, but in keeping with that, what's next for you?
Being way less responsible, so good with that for a little bit of time. And I don't know, there are a few kind of talking to a few people about a few things, but I'm not in any big hurry to tie into big projects here, so.
Travel?
Gonna take it easy. Yeah, we're gonna do some little traveling there, so looking forward to that in the short term and long term. But thank you.
Mike, just quickly, I want to say thank you so very much for your service. Great to know you all for more than 10 plus years. We call that myself, I guess. But I wish you the best. Thank you.
No, but I do want to mention one other thing that struck me when I was watching this. I met someone when she found out that I was on the 207 school board. She brought forth a story about her daughter, who was a student at Maine South, when we were a teacher here. She said her daughter started at school. She was really uncomfortable here. She was having a terrible time. Really just didn't seem to fit in, and she ended up in band or something. And she asked me specifically about you. You made a tremendous impact in this woman's life, and she has gone on to be super successful. And really, her mother, and you know, they're the smartest ones about these things, credited you for that. And it just reminded me at the time that you weren't always a principal. You were, you know, kind of right in the classroom and impacting in that way too. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I'm sure you've impacted thousands.
Well, I have no doubt.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, of course.
One thing I have to say, last Wednesday, so you missed the community fund meeting.
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
I didn't get any notification.
Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. I told them you got your money, and I told them what a great guy you were, and everybody clapped for you. So that was
I didn't even know I
no.
missed it.
That was a joke, Mike. It was a joke. I said Mike isn't here because he's retired. Okay, and they go, okay, that's a good reason. So there. But I just want to thank you for all the community work that you've also done, and also in bringing the bands, the Maine, when you were at Maine South. I mean, you have just a lifelong reputation there that has touched so many musicians, and so many people are still talking about you as music director. So I am fine arts chair. So your talents are many, and I hope that you use some of them in your retirement too.
I hope to do that.
So, but thank you for all of your other work too.
Yes, let's do the cake. Let's take a pause.
We don't have 207's best, so we have a little time, so we thought we would actually.
Cake time.
Yeah.
Cake time.
Yeah.
Should have cake every time.
Yeah, it's like dessert first. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, sure, dessert first.
It's like nap time. Right? In the garden, take a nap.
Thank you to those in the audience for your patience, and I'll be celebrating.
I might have left over.
Thank you, sir.
Mike, don't go there.
Mike, you want to cut this?
No.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that a nice feeling?
Including cake. I believe we did.
It was so funny at that meeting. Where's Mike? He's always here.
I had no idea that this was going on. I feel horrible.
No, but I think they had it. I know.
Yes, thank you so much.
Mike, I'll send it.
Thank you. Wow, like John and Brad, that was pretty cool.
Where's Becca now?
She's teaching at middle school up on North Shore. She kind of took some time and raised kids. She was back.
I was surprised to see her.
Yeah.
I mean, you clearly have to serve if you congratulations. I can get you a beer.
Dude, that's funny.
My daughters are much better.
I was going for a candid shot, but hey.
I'm great, Mike.
Thank you.
Oh. Thank you so much. Would you like some cake?
Yes, I have to get you. Thank you. Nobody else? Cake over there, anybody? Thank you.
Are we good with that?
I think we're good. I think we're good.
It's just that I have a whole other thing going on.
You guys want to eat?
Not that
Okay, so do we have any updates from board members while we're enjoying our cake?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, she'll go ahead.
No, you know what, I just wanted to give a well-deserved shout out. There was Pride Fest this Saturday at Maine West, and I just want to say congratulations to Maine West GSA. And I know members from Speak Displays, Heather D, Jessica Mack, and absolutely Mr. Elwood did a phenomenal job of bringing together the community. There was celebration, there was joy, there was learning, and so just a really wonderful event in Displays. So hopefully it's the first of many, so I was really happy to be a part of it. I brought my kiddos. It was a great event, so I just wanted to share with everybody.
Thank you very much.
And I forwarded the board members, Eileen had a really nice message from the community.
We had a really nice letter from the community member about it. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I met with two Oakton trustees over the past month, and Ben Salazar and Martha Burns, and they're very interested in working with us to promote, the dual degree and the whole dual credit program, and also just to figure out how they're looking at their long-term plan, and they wanted to know how do we fit in, how we can work better with them. So I came back with a list of questions. I'll be calling everybody to make sure I get all the right answers, and then not looking right at John. But you know what? I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be a good, if they came forth, it's always awesome when we can work together.
And thank you for doing that.
Sure.
Serving in that way for the district. You're going to be continuing on?
Yeah, I'm happy.
So it's an ongoing conversation, or you're on? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep us posted then.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Anyone else on the board? Any updates? Ken, do you want me to go back to you?
Oh,
Yes,
can
unless you want.
I have one more thing? Oh, wait, no, is that the community update? Oh, actually, I just wanted to say that we, I just want to congratulate all the schools on their graduations. I was opportune to see all 3 graduations, and they were all beautiful. And I was so happy to be back at Rosemont, and it was a good decision that we made. And they were great graduations, and the people were very happy, so.
Nice to have some normal events.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, very quickly, again, I want to give a real quick update year review, especially when Mike is here. Starting with just kind of our update milestone that we've been doing for several years. This year marked implementation of math reasons, a 3rd year in integrated math and competency. And we should have some data on that probably by the time we get back here in August. And the board remembers we had really good results in math 1 and 2. We had more students enrolled in what we consider college courses in math and successful in those courses than ever before in the district. I want to give a big shout out to Sean, who is leading our work in competency. And what has happened in competency is that we're doing something that's pretty unique. We're actually going wall to wall with it. So instead of like a pilot and a program over here, we have all of our students in mathematics. It's more complicated than just competency, but it's pretty signature work. Inequity, and this is a good segue from Terry's comments. So our growth in our students taking AP and dual credit courses is just really, really significant. We have more dual credit courses with up to 35 than any of the other Oakland districts by far, actually. And taken together with our AP courses, we now have 69 college courses taught on our campuses. But if you look at the growth, the trajectory, we have more students of color in our most rigorous courses than we've ever had in a district. And look at the growth since 2012, where our Asian students' growth in those courses is 129%. Our Black and African American students is 843%. We have a tiny N, so it's not quite as rigorous as some of our big N's, but it still is pretty significant growth. Our Hispanic Latino, where we do have a big N, is a 424% growth since 2012. That is remarkable. And our white student growth is 122%. Why Asian and white growth is not as high is that we had a much higher proportion of those students in 2012 in those courses. So the room to grow really was among our Hispanic and Black students, so pretty significant. This year, our students took 7,420 college courses. It's the first year in district history that we topped 7,000. So again, I want to give a lot of credit to the buildings and the work that they've done to really promote this. It started with opening up access and opening up support. You know, I mentioned the video about the work in RTI. A lot of the reason that our students are in there and being successful is because of the support that we have in place to help them in real time. And in particular, students who are taking those rigorous courses really for the first time in their career. So it's been pretty remarkable. Other things in equity, we have 3 cohorts of C. I think I've mentioned to the board in the past, we've really worked to get our elementary districts on board. This year included District 63, they partnered with us, and the District 64 is actually going to partner with us next year. That is really, really remarkable. We've been really trying to invite them into this work for a long time. And again, thanks to the good work of our buildings, we've hired more candidates of color in the past 2 years anytime in our history, and it's pretty significant. And that's really remarkable. It's going to help us begin to have a staff that looks more like the students that we serve. In dual credit, I point this out only because we still are pretty far away in proportionality in AP, but in dual credit, we have always had proportionality that's much closer to student representation. And if you look at our Asian and white students, about 31.8% of them are enrolled in at least one dual credit course, and our Black and other ethnicities, about 26%. So our equity there is closer than it's ever been. And why that's important is those dual credit courses align with the career planning for our students much more solidly than we AP courses do. So we expect that trend line to grow. In the career services, some other significant things. Our business partners, we had 743 this year. First time in our history that we have over 700. When we began this work, we had 73 or 74 business partners, so it's pretty significant. Secondly, we had over 5,000 student career experiences this year. Again, this is a year coming off of the pandemic, so really, really big compliment to our integrated career services and the growth they had there. One of the things that we believe and we're trying, this is where we think school is going to help us, we actually think those career experiences are greatly underreported, that there's actually way more than 5,000, so we're going to try to figure out a way to report those a little bit bigger. A challenge for us continues to be transportation. That's something that we'll continue to talk a little bit more about. We've done some work in there. In adult learning, which is the foundation of everything we do, big shout out to Jojo Paris in particular. She's just done a phenomenal job in this area, and that is just building out adult learning pathways that really mirror and mimic the pathways that our students have. What is happening in this space is as good as what's happening in any district in America. It's really that good. Our social emotional learning and behavior growth was really enhanced this year by advisory. Got a chance to look in at some of those and really, really good work going on there. But advisory is also going to help us in our career work because we've got a 33-minute block built in every week to really do that. And each building has a CASTLE, which is a collaborative for academic, social, and emotional learning, aligned behavior expectations. That's a big deal because the challenge here that we've got this year, and I was talking to Sheila a little bit about this before the start, we really saw a lot of just elevated student behavior this year in a way that we hadn't seen, prior to the pandemic. So I think we have a lot of work to really attend to that. But in talking with Jill and talking with some of our principals about kind of how do we get back at this, I think we'll be well equipped, hopefully, to establish a relationship with students next year, hopefully bring some of those things back in line. Competency-based education, again, Sean has just done a phenomenal job leading this. What we're doing is pretty unprecedented. I don't know of another model in Illinois that has tried to go wall-to-wall with anything. We've gone wall-to-wall with math, we're going to go with English and social science next. Right now, 40% of our teachers are using standard-based grading, and that's going to continue to grow. That's a foundational pedagogy for really doing competency-based learning well, and that's one of the things that is enhanced by our adult learning program. Finances, big shout out to Mary and the job she does. We continue to maintain balanced budgets. Our projects are on time and under budgets, largely. The overall performance is excellent. Bond rates were really incredible. Our insurance performance is really outstanding. And then this year, we were able to actually secure a CBA extension, which was very advantageous, and I think worked well for both parties. Communication. Brett is here. Our communication team, Dan and Brett, and the other team members from across the building have just done an amazing job. 49 external videos this year that got 185,000 views across various social media channels. Construction is by far the most popular with about 100,000 views. 200 news stories posted since July. The website earned an Award of Excellence from the Illinois Chapter of National School Public Relations Association. And District 207 was among just 37 districts invited to join the League of Innovative Schools by Digital Promise, and the district was selected for the ASA's Learning 2025 Network of Demonstration Districts. And then the district had many award winners for the Annual Teacher of the Year, and those who excelled programming, including Board Member Bessler and Assistant Superintendent Ballou, who are with us tonight. So really, really good recognition for the great work of the district. Situational leadership, I mentioned the C partnerships, but those are regular topics with our elementary districts that we continue to work on. We're working with them to articulate in the career space, continue to work with our district teams, with our principals, with our cabinet. And then right now, we're in the midst of strategic planning. We've held a couple of meetings already and had one just last weekend here. Feel really good about the way our goals are set and how they're owned really across the entire district. And then I think we've been, and this is a tribute to the board, I think we've been pretty nimble in responding to the various contexts. This year alone, we went into the year not going to have masks, and then we had masks, and then we're back to no masks. And we've been able to move pretty quickly through all of that, and finished up by selecting a new Mandy's principal to finish to replace Mike when he is retired, and again in strategic planning. So that is the quick review.
All right.
Before we move on to the next item, I know we do have two comments that you just came in just a little bit late for our comment, but I'll go ahead and allow that now. So can we start with Geraldine Josiak? And just so you know, we limit comments to 3 minutes.
Okay.
We'll give you an idea when you're done.
Okay. I'd just like to say hello. I'm
Feel free to, if you don't mind, come forward a little bit. We can hear you better.
I'm Geraldine Joswick. Thank you for having me. My daughter Emilia, and she came home one day and was telling me something about the honors classes, and I guess I didn't really research, so I was wondering if you can send out a detailed information about how the different grading will be done as far as the honors classes. I feel like on a college perspective, how would they look upon the new way of doing an honors class? My daughter's in AP History. She did really well. She studied very hard. and she worked her butt off, and she was extremely tired, I have to say. So my question is if she's gonna be doing more AP classes to avoid the new honors class grading system, which I did read something about it being an 85-point grade would be like an A. I could be misinformed on that, I don't know. I just wanna know more information about it, how it affects all the students. I grew up at Des Plaines. I was born in Chicago. I was 5 years old when I moved to Des Plaines on Graceland Avenue. I moved away for 10 years. I moved back, so I really like the growth. I love seeing the different nationalities and the different foods and the different cultures, and I love the downtown. And I'm really happy for her that she gets to be part of that. So I just wanted to know, you know, how all of the new kids, and like I guess it's growing so much at Maine West and all the main schools with all the new, you know, people moving in. So I just needed some more information on the honors classes and
Okay,
all that.
thank you for your comment. We don't normally get into answering questions at our board meetings, but we can certainly put someone, someone can follow up with you if that would be okay.
All right, well, thank you.
And is this your daughter? Did she also, did you want to speak?
Yeah, so.
Feel free.
Recently we heard through numerous amounts of teachers that there's plans to detract in the Maine Township schools. And with the information that we've given, which essentially means that they're trying to take away from what our understanding is, they're trying to take away the Excel classes and keep the AP classes to try and make a more equitable environment for learning. A lot of students and a fair amount of teachers have had some concerns about it. Specifically, are Excel classes being slowed down and the regular classes sped up, or if they're just getting rid of them altogether, whether the under-challenged Excel students and whether the Excel students will be under-challenged in this new system, or the struggling students will be over-challenged, and there might be possible increased frustrations among all parties with that issue. And even more so, are teachers prepared to have to cater to such a wide variety of needs with all groups in the same class? So there were some concerns about that, and just wondering if you had any more information.
Okay, thank you again. We don't get into conversations back and forth at our meetings, but we can certainly follow up with some information.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Before you go further, I know, can I just quickly say, for the 2022 review, we just saw it. Just want to briefly make a quick comment. Number one, especially very impressed with the business partnerships achievement has been going since the beginning when we were here as a serving board, and I can recall we started freshly, and then the number has been increased to 743 business partnership. And like I said, so I guess we have like such accomplishment and such a hard partnership work compared to any other school or the district or even other countries as well. So I think we are doing a wonderful job, especially for the students, because this business partnership certainly give an opportunity for the students to save their money, save their time, and making a proper decision with their career in advance before they actually go to college and getting a job. So just want to put a hats on doing a fantastic job on that particular. Second, regarding also want to say thank you for the communication tool. Even though Jordan talked before us here, I'm a subscriber, and whenever I see it, I still make comes 207 stories. The communication after Brad, and it's very informative to the community wise who does not able to attend. And 3 minutes over. All right. Anyway, through that communication, I work with the community media. I think it's really fantastic, and it does sharing all the updates about all the accomplishments about our district is doing. So thank you, Brad, and everyone else on that. 3 minutes.
Sorry, it's not a bad idea. I don't know how to think about it. Okay, thank you very much. All right, we're going to move along to the construction update. Mary?
You look at this one-page May construction update, you would think that May was a slow month, and then came the last 3 days of May where demolition began in the schools. The inside are unrecognizable, to put it mildly. So I would say that with the end of May, construction is in full swing. I believe they had the entire front of Main South demoed in one day. So it is amazing to see the speed at which the buildings are transforming this summer.
We'll go right back to you on the monthly status of finances.
In your board packet is the April financial report. As you look at the revenue side, you'll see that the spring collection of taxes has come in. In some funds, it looks like we've collected about over 100% of the budget, but then we'll have audit adjustments for the market to value and student fees, which reflected this September, and that will bring that number down. On the expenditure side, the expenditures are within our historical averages for April, and we're well within budget. So I will entertain any questions that anybody has on the April financial report.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mary. We'll move along to instructional services. Sean?
So in your board packet, you have, each year we bring an update of how our students have been progressing through college, and also what entrance rates are and things of that nature. There's a little synopsis there. The entire report is in the packet. But in the synopsis, you can see that our Main Township graduates from 2020 and 2021 really are tracking like the rest of the country. We've had some dips in college enrollment. We don't believe that necessarily has much to do with academics, but more to do with just the current kind of temperature in the country, and students questioning the value of college and taking a little bit more time. We know that when students get off track a little bit, as the pandemic caused students to do, sometimes they find work, find a job, start making money, and they delay their entrance to college. So if there's any questions you have on this, I'm happy to answer any of those.
Questions? Thank you, Sean. Ken, update on monthly FOIA requests.
6 this month that you have been answered for the review process.
Okay. Okay, could I have a motion on our consent agenda, items 6A through G? So moved.
Second.
Jeannie, would you take the roll?
Bessler?
Aye.
Collins? 6A through G?
Yes.
1, 2, okay. Sorry, I'm okay. I was wondering if I had to abstain. Kilberg? Aye. Lee?
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson?
Aye.
Owen?
Aye. Okay, could I have a motion on item 7, this is Board of Education policy, second reading?
So moved. Second.
George, John, please.
So the policy committee has met multiple times, and these presses are guidance, but as always, sort of our discussion in that committee has been very helpful to edit our policies. I think the other piece I want to talk about is just that we started the process of meeting with administrators, take policy, and once approved, to the procedural and informing our administrators. So we will continue that in the fall.
And these have all been discussed. Again, this is our second reading, so I don't know if anybody has any questions at this point, but they have been discussed and have gone for first reading. So if there's no questions or comments, Ginny, would you take the roll?
Bessler? Aye. Yusuf Abramson?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Collins? Aye. Owen?
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 8, textbook approval?
So moved. Second.
Sean?
In your packet, you can see there's 3 textbooks up for adoption. Pretty routine, business for an accounting class, or for intro to business class, and then 2 math classes. Speaking of Oakton, which is the topic tonight, you can see there's a multivariable calculus book on there that we'll be purchasing for the students. So nothing too Nothing too interesting, I guess, on the list. Pretty run of the mill.
Any questions? All right, Jenny, would you take the roll?
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Bessler. Lee.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Okay, could I have a motion on item 9A, one-year subscription with the mastery manager?
So moved.
Second.
Sean?
Mastery Manager is just a software package that we use for teachers to do some item analysis and data collection on student performance in classroom. It's a place where teachers can share tests and compare results of the students, and then when they get together in their PLTs, they discuss those results so they can make needed adjustments to instruction.
Is this the first time for us?
No, we've used that for probably 20 years at least.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, would you take the roll?
Lee.
Aye.
Collins. Kilberg. Bessler. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 9B, CDW staff technology equipment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Don?
Yes, you'll see in your board packet, we propose buying laptops for the first year for a number of our staff. We did give staff the opportunity to choose their devices, and so gave them some agency in getting those devices that they like. We've also applied, E-rate has offered money through their emergency connectivity fund. We did apply for that money for these devices with the reasoning that if we go out again, teachers will have the full devices that they need.
So I read it says it's 245 MacBook Airs and 250 iPads, and it says that you're replacing a lot of the computers for the teachers, whether it's their Chromebook, but also the desktops.
Correct.
So does that mean, does that number, that 245 and then 250, does that mean we're replacing all desktops in all three schools?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. So this is the first wave, so we'll be doing it with some of the staff, math department, science department, et cetera. And what we'll be doing is easing them into it, so we don't want to just yank those computers out the first day of school and then expect people to be able to work. So we're going to ease them in through October. They'll have those desktop computers until then. The advantage of the new devices, they'll be able to project wirelessly. They've got other tools that they can use to really enhance what they're doing in the classroom.
May I ask if there's any concern about these walking away though? Not by teachers, but just...
It'll be staff's responsibility to take care of them. Just like their Chromebooks, just like... the good thing is that these are portable, so staff will be able to take them with them.
That's good and it's bad. I guess that's what my question was sort of leading, right? So because they're portable,
Right,
they
right.
could find their way out the door with the wrong owner.
Right. I've done this in previous districts, and we didn't really see a big problem with that. We had teachers that had them stolen out of their cars and that sort of thing, but that was very few. I think I can remember in 9 years, we probably had 2 incidents like that.
So after this large purchase, and you said that, this is the first wave, will there be a second and third wave?
There'll be a second wave for next year, for the next school year after this one.
And will it be also this many?
It'll be the remaining departments, so yeah, it'll be in the neighborhood of this many.
We first purchased laptops for teachers here, I think, in about 2007. Dell originally, so we've been through multiple iterations of this. Always there's some loss, theft, all that kind of stuff, but our staff has had devices pretty much consistently since 2007, just on different iterations.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's no other questions, Judy, would you take the roll on 9A?
Collins. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Bessler. Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 9C?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Sean?
Yes, so this is the Achieve 3000 contract. This time last year, we actually purchased a full suite from Actively Learn and Achieve 3000 are the same company, just to get a sense of whether this was a way we wanted to have with our curriculum. We have since, after putting that through its paces, decided to use it specifically for intervention. And so our teachers really have liked the G3000 when it comes to MTSS being able to intervene. It does a lot of level readings for students, so it helps to increase access. And it has a really good practice platform. And the students tend to like this better than what we currently have, Reading Plus. We're still using both, but sort of as students move on, they kind of like something a little bit more. I guess we would say that the topics are a little bit more interesting to students.
Yeah, more engaging.
And more engaging. So at a greatly reduced rate from what we spent last year. We'd like to continue this. We're expanding it a little bit in our use for intervention, and this will be funded with our ESSER 3 funds.
Just there's another typo. The book here is correct, $46,472. The paper here is this typo. This is $26,740. Correction. The book is correct. Typo.
Looks like it's correct in electronic version, maybe not in print.
What's the correct number?
26,472.
It's a transpose.
Instead of 740.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the motion is with that dollar amount amended to $26,472. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks for catching
We'll give you an
that.
extra minute to speak.
Sounds good.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so the motion has been seconded, and any other discussion? Okay, would you take the roll?
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Bessler.
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Kilberg. Owen.
Aye. I have a motion on item 9D, Rex Electric Stadium Light Repair Project at Main South.
So moved.
Second.
Mary?
Sometime over the winter, the electrical feed to the Northwest Stadium light failed, probably broke. And this bid will trench a new electrical feed to there, and will also lay an additional conduit in that trench so that should it ever break again, we can simply just refeed the wires through that conduit and save all of that hand trenching. It's not uncommon. So sometimes ground shifts, maybe even with all of the work we're doing to the track, something shifted and breaks the conduit. So we received 2 bids. The lowest bid was $96,475, and it was from Rex Electric.
Okay. An unfortunate shift, isn't it? But you have to have it. Okay, any questions or comments on that? Okay, Jenny, would you take the roll?
Kilberg.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Bessler. Aye. Collins. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. I have a motion on item 9E, CrowdStrike Cybersecurity, and please note that this has been revised in the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Don, let's get it.
So the CrowdStrike purpose was a part of our incident response to our cybersecurity incident that started on the 19th and lasted through the 27th. So we were doing a proof of concept with CrowdStrike at the time, and they actually identified the first part of the incident and helped alert us to it, and also provided us with free support for probably 3 days until we actually made the purchase. They were invaluable in helping us. They do partner with our insurance company and with the legal firm that our insurance company uses for cybersecurity incidents. So had we not had this, things could have been worse.
No, obviously it's a big concern.
Yeah. I just want to reiterate, though, I want to make it very clear, we were not breached. There's a difference between a cybersecurity incident and a breach. A breach implies that we've lost data. We have no indication at all that we've lost any data.
And this was the first time we ever experienced this?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
And then during the loss of days, was it covered by insurance per se, you'd say?
So we didn't
really require it?
We didn't lose any, like what I would call production time. In all of our systems were still working. What we saw was the actor moving back from our phone system to a couple of our main servers, They were attempting to get administrative credentials. I can only presume what they wanted to do with them, but that was the bulk of the impact.
And we were, such a short time of this incident, we were able to secure let's say about 4 or 5 different companies able to find with the right prices, I guess.
But we'd actually been working on this since December. So that decision matrix is something we've been working on since December. We were lucky enough that we were doing a proof of concept with CrowdStrike at the time. And we had actually indicated that they were the organization that we prefer to work with.
And so when you write that it's to monitor and protect the district's computers, does that include, again, back to like my question about the desktops and all the Chromebooks, right? And so, okay.
Yeah, it actually, what it does, more desktop computers, Chromebooks, you can't really install the agent that it uses on a Chromebook, so it doesn't do anything with Chromebooks. It does see traffic that's like moving from Chromebooks to the network, but Chromebooks are very hard to compromise, so.
That's good news.
Yeah,
that is good news.
Okay. Want to make sure. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, Jenny, would you take the roll?
Collins?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson?
Aye.
Bessler?
Aye.
Owen?
Aye. I have a motion on item 9F, NCPA joint purchasing co-op. Is there a second?
Second.
Mary?
So we worked with the Maine South Special Education Department to select the furniture for life skills. The other life skills programs received furniture from the architects through the renovated spaces. So we engaged the architects to do South because of the unique nature of that furniture. All of the furniture is available for purchase through a joint purchasing collaborative, which the district is a member of, which allows us to achieve a savings discount on that furniture.
And you're able to kind of quantify that savings?
Correct. So you can see the discount off of the list price, and that's outlined in the contract, which is awarded through a public bid to the cooperative. So you just piggyback on that bid.
What should we do with the old furniture, by the way, if there's
A lot of their furniture is being kept, so all of the chairs, some of their furniture is probably going to be disposed of. I'm thinking more of the kitchen tables that they've had that are probably 20, 25 years old. Really not in good condition. But this will expand. This will also give them some unique pieces. We'll see some of the rockers, some of the mumbles, some of the, they're going with a mix of chairs based on student needs. So it's a combination. We've sold probably $5,000 or $6,000 worth of furniture through a process that we use, a bidding process. And some is not worth salvaging, unfortunately.
So why didn't we try this with the, through construction?
Because there is, so in order to save money, 6.75% on the architects, we kind of split the spaces between, if it was new construction space, the architect, we were allowing them to do the design, select the furniture, go through the process, and then anything that was light and bright, I would work with the staff directly, and that has saved us 6.75% of probably $4.5 million, so a couple $100,000. But as the orders came in for this department, I think Katie and I realized that they were not making selections that we thought were consistent with the other life skills, and we thought it was a missed opportunity for them. And as it turned out, I think they went in a completely different direction with the guidance of the architect and picked out furniture that will serve them in a much better way. So that's kind of the reasoning, is that we split it that way to save some money.
For the special education furniture, how about Maine East or Maine West possibly?
As I indicated, the architects did that furniture as part of the renovation, so much of what south is getting was used in some of the other buildings, and that's where kind of came up with the idea of what has been working. The first space that was done was at West, and then the life skills program came in about a year and a half after renovations at East, so this will be our final special ed suite of spaces to do.
All right. Jenny, would you take the roll?
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Gilbert. Collins. Bessler. Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 9G, ombudsman?
So moved.
So we are asking the board to go into agreement that would allow us as a district to contract with ombudsman, should we need it, to serve some of our students that are not able to be served in the buildings. These are students that would be general education and not students with IEPs. Just so you are aware, we have not needed to utilize these services in the past several years, but just for transparency, we would like the board to be able to approve it should we need to, because it would provide an option once we have exhausted all of our interventions in district, and give us an option for a student should we need it.
But we haven't had to do this in the past.
Yeah, at least like in the last, well, I know for sure the last 2 years, maybe the last 3.
Any questions? Okay, would you take the roll?
Bessler. Collins. Gilbert. Lee. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. We have a motion on item 10, this is the timeline for the 2022-2023 budget approval.
So moved. Second.
This lays out the statutory timeframe for both putting the budget on public display, which is July 1st, for both the district and NSERV. We serve as a public agent of NSERV, so we put their budget on display as well as holding a public meeting before our August Board of Education meeting for those budgets. The difference in the statutory requirement is that the joint cooperative budget has to be adopted before the end of August, and the district budget has to be adopted before the end of September. So we do adopt those budgets at different board meetings. But other than that, the statutory timeframe is identical.
Okay. Any questions on this? There aren't any, would you take the roll?
Gilbert. Lee.
Aye.
Collins. Bessler. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 11, intergovernmental agreements for Penoyer School?
So moved. Second.
Sean?
So this is something I don't believe we've ever done before. We're going to share a teacher with Penoyer as a 6th assignment, which will enable them to teach 2 sections of Math 1 next year, which that means in the following year they'll be able to actually teach both Math 1 and Math 2 at Penoyer, which is something they currently can't do. This gives students, we have that arrangement with 64 right now. We're looking into it with 63 and 62, but this will bring Penoyer kind of up to speed, so to speak, so that students who are advanced in mathematics can start in Math 3 as freshmen.
And just so I know, how is this teacher going over there?
Yes. So
Every day, only teaching there?
Well, their schedule is different than ours. We're on a block schedule. They're actually starting a little later this year, after Labor Day. But this teacher will travel every other day. It's the last period of the day for this teacher. And so we'll use it, we'll treat it like a traveling teacher within district. They'll just be heading down to Penoyer instead.
Any other questions about this? Okay, hearing none. Jenny, would you take the roll?
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Collins. Lee.
Aye.
Gilbert. Bessler. Owen.
Aye. I have a motion on item 12, medical education program, letter of agreement with Advocate Healthcare.
So moved.
Here.
This is simply the arrangement we have for Advocate to provide pediatric residents as part of the school-based health center rotation. So there is no exchange of money, just indemnification and policies and procedures. Those residents are under the direction of the medical director, so this just provides an opportunity for some additional hands.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, would you take the roll?
Lee.
Aye.
Collins. Bessler. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Gilbert. Owen.
Aye. I have a motion on item 13, TRS Supplemental Savings Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mary?
So as part of a statutory requirement, TRS adopted a supplemental savings plan, which is a 457 plan. It is their intent, I think, in the future to automatically enroll new TRS members in this plan. We have a couple months before it is mandatory for us to adopt this, but we had some interest from our employees to enter into this agreement. It will be different than the district programs in such that it is managed by TRS, and we will simply be notified of what contributions a member has elected to do, and we will withhold those on behalf of TRS. So this kind of lays out the fiduciary responsibilities. Legal counsel has recommended that we also do a separate agreement with any member that chooses to make this election to advise them of the fiduciary relationship the district does not have in making these selections. So that was included in the board packet as well.
That's also, yeah, that is there. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay, would you take the roll?
Bessler. Aye. Kilburg. Aye. Lee.
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Collins. Aye. Owen.
Aye. Do I have a motion on item 14, waiver of facility rental fee for McDaff?
So moved.
Second.
Mike, you're up.
So, McCaff is now, we're happy to have living at Main East. And Terry has been very patient as she's sort of been shuffled around the school in the midst of construction, things like that. But again, I think it's been already reaching out, working with kids. So it's very similar to the same agreement they have at South in terms of access for meetings, supporting things with community on occasion and working with students.
Terry, if you wouldn't mind, since it's been,
sure.
It's been a little bit since, with the pandemic, if you could just give us a brief update on what McCaff's doing.
Sure, as you know, McCaff is Maine Community Youth Assistance Foundation. Its goal is to prevent adolescent use of drug and alcohol and promotion of positive mental health for all teens in Maine Township. So our goal is very much local. It's a local organization. We don't do counseling. We refer people to other counselors. In fact, we give them a list that we pick. But so we don't make any clinical judgments whatsoever. We just kind of help them navigate the process of what you do if you find your kid using or whatever. But mostly what we do focus on is education and awareness. And our education and awareness efforts have been huge. We've been around since 2003. We were established at Maine Township. And so we'll be celebrating 20 years next year, and I intend to be here for that 20 years. I mean, that's a big deal, because most of these coalitions, we got started, as a coalition, and, after the grant runs out, nobody answers the phone. And our phone has been answered since 2013. In fact, when 2013, when the grant ended, everybody walked out, and I walked in the door in 2013. So, but I'm really happy to say that we have kept up the mission of education and awareness, and also we have done classes and service projects, and kind of that do good to feel good about yourself, and in helping with drug education. We have kids working with us on, in fact, we had kids working with us on volunteer projects, things like backpacks for the homeless. We donated over 6,000 books to Lincoln Correctional Center in Lincoln, Illinois. So that's a women's prison. We had 20s of kids helping us on those things. And so, the thing that we forget is that, drug treatment programs are 42% or less effective across the board. Prevention is 100% effective. And it really, if we can get out there and really, do that, that's a big deal. And I think being at 207 helps us do that. And the other thing that's also really good with you know, we're out in the community. Like if you were at the Park Ridge Memorial Day Parade, you would see parents who host lose the most. That was one of our, the big signs that we brought out. And that's been a campaign of ours. Just say no to drugs, KNOW to drugs, you know, so we did the question about knowing more will have you make better decisions. We're out, you know, at health fairs. We're gonna be at the Displays, Taste of Displays. We're gonna be at Niles 4th of July Parade. We'll be at, the 4th of July canopies. We'll be at National Night Out for all 4 towns, you know, Niles, Park Ridge, Displays, and unincorporated McLean Township. And any time we'll get calls from people that'll say, do you have any suggestions, or where can I go for this, or what can I do, or, you know, and so we're out in the community and, like I said, referring to other things. But I think that the biggest thing that I got, and this happened at graduation, you know, just when you think everything is going like, what am I doing this for? You get that hit in the face that says, this is why I'm doing it. I was down in that green room, you know, at the Rosemont Theater. It was the last graduation of the day. It was Maine South graduation. And a woman was calling out, and one of the teachers said, hey, Terry, I think they're calling for you. And that's like unheard of, you know. I don't get called at the graduation because I don't have kids there. But this mom came up to me with her son and said to me, you know, I just want to let you know, I told my whole family that you and your organization are the reason that I'm here today with my son. And he had he had some behavioral issues, but his big issue was vaping. And this would be 4 years ago, so check my math, but I'm thinking it was 2018. So he was a freshman in 2018, and you know, I had him come in and he made flyers for us, anti-vaping flyers. He came in and he worked in my office with me. His mom, you know, let him do stuff. They were both in the vaping class that I took, that I taught. And she just said, if you hadn't helped get him on the right track with that vaping, he wouldn't be here today. And because there were some issues, and he, you know, she told me that he had become an Eagle Scout, and that it was just, I mean, he was going to college, had a four-year scholarship to college. And I mean, I couldn't help but cry, you know, I mean, I just get tears now. But that kind of stuff, I mean, when you do that, I mean, I'm sure as teachers and people who have been teachers, in terms of regular high school teachers, you know, in college you don't get that too much, but you do see it. And when you see that for a kid that, you know, you saw was headed down the wrong path, and he came back, it was just phenomenal.
You. Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to know that you were continuing, because I know with the pandemic, it was hard times.
Oh, yeah.
For organizations like NCAF to keep going, so.
Yeah, the pandemic really kind of decimated us, and we're coming back, and
good.
We'll be here next year.
Share how your full-time staff, who is it?
Me.
So all those things she listed, all that work that's been done, all those lives that have been touched, one staff member, and it's this person right here. Thank you for what all you've done.
Thank you.
Just want to quickly share the experience. A few years ago, I was invited by Terry to able to attend one of the gathering. And I was most impressed with that was because of the parents' participation. Very active, very surprisingly, especially in that particular concerned issues. For the Asian American community, the parents, they don't know what to do, where to go when their son, who's getting a great education and everything, but because of the certain issues, especially drug concerns and surviving problems and so on, they're too shy to share that with anybody else. And they don't have the answer, they don't know what to do, and so on. And Again, I think the MECAF is a great asset to our district. And throughout your outreach, I think the parents who's not actively knows what to do with it, and when they do need some assistance, I think this is a great place to reach out and get some help, most definitely. I do get asking by parents discreetly from my church members and so on, and then I share them with tell them to reach out to MECAF and so despite the language barriers and among other things, but still it's great to know that we have someone, the organization could able to help. So,
Okay, thank you, everyone. Anything else? Would you take the roll?
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Collins.
Abstain.
Bessler. Kilberg. Owen.
Aye. Do I have a motion on item 15, resolution authorizing prompt payment of bills?
So moved.
Mary?
This resolution identifies those vendors that we're seeking approval to pay in June, the end of the month. Those bills normally would be approved at our July board meeting, but because we're not meeting in July, it gives us the authority to pay those vendors on this list, and then those bills will come before the board to be ratified at the August Board of Education meeting.
With all the details? Is that
Correct.
Okay.
The same kind of packet that you would see every month.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none?
Kilberg. Aye. Collins.
Aye.
Lee. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Bessler. Owen.
Aye. Okay, calendar items, item 16. I don't think there's anything there other than we all should be mindful of the public hearing in the next board meeting on August 1st. Anything else for this item? Okay. Are there any other communications or public comments? Okay. Any other items for information? No? Okay. Then could I have a motion to go into closed session for the purposes of review of closed session minutes and appointment, employment, compensation, performance, or dismissal of specific employees?
So moved.
Second.
Take the roll.
Bessler. Aye. Collins. Aye. Kilberg. Aye. Lee. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Okay. Could I have a motion to return to open session?
So moved. Second.
Roll.
Bessler. Aye. Collins. Aye. Kilberg. Aye. Lee. Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 21, personnel actions as amended?
So moved. Second.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Kilberg. Aye. Collins. Aye. Bessler. Aye. Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 22, approval of closed session minutes for the May 2nd, 2022 meeting?
So moved. Second.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Bessler.
Aye.
Collins. Aye. Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 23A?
So moved. I move that the Maine Township High School District 207 Board of Education approves the superintendent's performance goals compensation for the 2021-2022 in the amount of $13,500 as presented.
Second.
Okay.
Collins. Aye. Bessler. Aye. Kilberg.
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 23B, final adjudication, employee number 060622-1?
So moved.
Second. Collins. Aye. Bessler.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 23C, final adjudication, employee 060622-2?
So moved.
Second.
Bessler.
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 23D, final adjudication, employee number 060622-3?
So moved. Second.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Collins. Kilberg.
Aye.
Bessler. Lee. Owen.
Aye. Can I have a motion on item 23E, final adjudication, employee number 060622-4?
So moved.
Second. Lee.
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson.
Aye.
Collins. Bessler. Kilberg.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye. Can I have a motion to adjourn?